Good evening, friends, and welcome. Let's do a video and audio check. We are on the YouTube app, so not always 100% sure that that's going to come through. But if you would just do me a favor, can you hear me? Can you see me? And let's see if I get a response to that. All right. Thank you, Scott. And Scott was the first one on again this evening. Let me go through the welcomes because I know there's a bunch of you here. A lot of great people, a lot of people who are here on a regular basis. Scott Hummer, Hickey Homestead, and Sue Me, Methane Creator. Methane Creator's already answered the questions that we're going to have here this evening. So, Jim, if you would go ahead and add those again as we're having the discussion. I think they were pretty good because we advertise on his site and get his members of his preparedness group in here as well. As a matter of fact, I'm going to his meeting Saturday, and I'm trying to talk the wife into going with me. So we will see how that goes. Start thinking of where is your favorite range to take her and get her a little bit better with her offhanded shooting. Okay, Annette Gerganis, good evening. That's a new name. Welcome. Patricia Butler. And let me see. I think I've seen a whole bunch more. That L Dog. Good evening. Good to see you, my friend. And oops, boy, that jumped a whole bunch. I didn't want it to jump that much. I think I saw a Little Lone Prepper. Yep, I did. I saw Little Lone Prepper. Utah Mike. And that looks like that's it for right now, but I'm sure there will be more joining us as we get into it. Listen, this is an outstanding book. I strongly recommend you get it. Link is down in the description. If you want to give me 2% of the sales of this, Amazon gives me a 2% finder's fee. Great book. I know Mr. Jones personally. I love the stuff he writes. He makes it and he puts it out in a way that's understandable to a person like me. So, you know, I mean, he just very simple writing, very simple solutions, covers the topic fairly well. There are some things you might want to add to it, but this is a fantastic book for what he's doing, which is addressing 150 different topics in just one small book. So just, I mean, grab one, put it in your lot, and do like I do, all the highlighting and all the page tabbing and all that other stuff. And, you know, I think it'll be a great book. It's going to be a valuable part of your library. Did we see Tuck come in? Tuck by V1, good evening. Welcome. We haven't even started yet, so you're doing good. Shenanigans, good evening. Good to see you as well. And, okay, so let me find my glasses. Number 132, what can a survivalist do to prepare for a utility outage? Number one, he talks about generators. You got to have power. Then number two, he talks about one of my pet peeves that we don't talk about enough, and I think it's just people don't want to, it's kind of an obscene thing to think about, and that is sanitation. If the sewer systems aren't going to be working, you know, how are you going to handle sanitation? How are you going to handle sewage? How are you going to dispose of it? How are you going to account for that? I think I've got it under control. I've got, you know, the 5-gallon buckets that are sold on Amazon with the seat, and then they come with some things that go inside of it. So I have all kinds of biohazard bags. We have a 55-gallon drum with holes cut in it, and all that stuff is going to be out in the backyard. We're going to burn it. Okay. So that's how we're going to dispose of the solids. Now the liquids, we're just going to put it right into the sewage system, and you know, we'll use some water and flush that down. We'll go through the mantra that I had when I was in Monterey for basic Russian in DLI in 1974. There was we had a water shortage, and so the rule there was if it's brown, flush it down, and if it's yellow, let it mellow. And so we're going to go through that kind of a concept here. Yellows will just let sit in the toilet. If it's going to be a solid, then we're going to take it into the bucket. Now, I know females and males too. We have a habit of doing both at the same time a lot of the times. That's okay. Whatever the primary reason you're going to the bathroom is, separate between liquids and solids. Then you're also going to have to worry about the sanitation as far as hand washing and cleaning yourself down in the area where the sewage comes out of, and all that kinds of stuff. So that's one of those topics people don't like to discuss, but it's very, very critical. I think one of the things you have to remember is make sure your neighbors are taking care of it as well, because if they are just throwing stuff out in the backyard, can't tell you how many people say they're going to dig cat holes. After 365 days, that cat hole is not going to have any place to go anymore in your backyard. It's going to be full of cat holes. So, it's going to attract rodents. It's going to attract insects. It's going to attract disease. Make sure you have that all under control. Make sure you have plenty of water. There won't be any water processing. There probably won't be any water pressure. Remember that there's a small pump, electric pump, down at the bottom that takes the processed water and then pumps it up to the top of your gravity-fed tower. And so then you have all this water up top. That gravity-fed water comes down with pressure, and that's how you get your pressure in your sinks and bathtubs and all that kinds of stuff. If there is no electricity for that pump to get that amount up to the top to be gravity-fed down towards you, then there's no gravity-fed water. There will probably not be any gravity-fed water after the second day, possibly after the first. So make sure you have plenty of water. He makes a recommendation of several gallons of water per day. I assume that's for a family. I'm going to tell you my plans are 3 gallons per person per day. And that's going to give us, and then a gallon per dog per day. So we're going to have a total of 8 gallons in our household per day. That's for the 2 adults and the 2 dogs. Keeping warm in cold weather, make sure you have plans for that. There won't be any heating. There won't be any electrical power to pump liquid natural gas through the natural gas pipelines. You aren't going to have a lot of the stuff that's available to you now. There won't be any electricity for the fans. Even if you had the natural gas to do the heating, the fan that takes that heat and moves it throughout your entire house, unless you have a whole house electrical backup system, whether that be generator or solar or wind, is not going to operate to distribute that warm air throughout your house. Make sure, if you can get an older house that has a fireplace or that has some sort of a distributed heat system, that from wood burning stoves or something like that, that would be the best thing to do. Modern homes that are sealed, number one, for efficiency for the air conditioning and the heater. So you got a good seal system. However, that also precludes your ability to use an indoor heater, such as a fireplace or wood burning stove or something like that. So you would have to do a lot better ventilation. Remember, my mantra: for everything there's a advantage and a disadvantage. The advantage of a wood burning stove is lots of great heat. The disadvantage is you have to have a chimney for it to go out, and then you also have the opportunity for carbon monoxide. So, when you have that chimney, you've got a draft. There's all kinds of other opportunities for cold air to come in that you're heating with it. Everything has its advantages and disadvantages. So make sure you have plenty of food stored. And we advocate 2,250 calories per person per day. And that's just for sedentary, okay? I would probably say plan, oh gosh, that hip. Oh my gosh, I would say probably plan for 2,500 calories per day. Might get you better off. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be delayed or unavailable. So make sure you have the appropriate firearms, fire extinguishers, and first aid equipment and training. Absolutely. So right now, go out and get all of the first aid training you can get. There's another town in the county. I'm part of the county emergency response team. And so there's another city up north in the northwestern portion of the county. It's called Liberty Hills, I think, in the northwest portion of the county. We're going to their meeting Wednesday and help them with their CERT club, CERT group. That's the city emergency management system has a CERT there. So, check out CERT. If you have a CERT organization in your area, that's the Community Emergency Response Team. Join them. Some of the best training I've ever had. They also take you through, and right now the website is not as active as it should be because of a funding issue with DHS. But FEMA has some emergency management courses that you can take for free on their website. So that's FEMA.gov, and you can take all kinds of free training there as well. Get as much of that as you can. If you go to, and I have the address up here, just a minute. I think it's Indoor Outdoors. I believe it's Indoors Outdoors. Oh, no, I did away with it. Let me check here in my history. I'll get it now. I'll put it in here. There is a group. It's a Army Navy store basically, and but down at the very bottom of their website, they have free survival manuals, and so you can get all kinds of military manuals that you can download for free. It's just really, really great. So I would also recommend that. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. What can a survivalist do to avoid being a victim of street crime? Number one is deny their confidence to attack you. If you look weak, you're a target. If you look strong, you're not. So a person walking alone, daydreaming, got your face in your phone, you're a target, okay? If you're looking down, one of the things you want to do is, if you see what you perceive to be a threat, make sure you're looking at them. Just making eye contact quite often is enough to deter them taking advantage of you. How you dress is going to be extremely important. So if you're wearing boots, a leather jacket, and a buck knife on the belt, they're probably not going to mess with you. Now, it's not something we're probably typically going to wear. However, just as an allegory, that is one extreme, and then you have the person in the hippie boots and the bikini shorts, or whatever you want to call them, hot pants, and tank. What do they call that? The women wear that's bare midriff and just covers the chest. Tank top. That's more of a target than would be a biker type of an outfit. I see hi, Tammy Harder. Good evening. Good to see you. Welcome. Okay. Don't let them surprise you. Make sure. He had something in here that I had never thought of. Great advice. Do it. And that is, they've got those little button type convex mirrors that basically give you a 180-degree panoramic view that have an adhesive on one side. Put those on your rear view mirrors on your automobile so that you have a complete view, because there is a blind spot, okay? All cars, when you look in the rear view mirrors, have a blind spot. People who are going to take advantage of you are always going to be approaching in that blind spot. They know the blind spot. So if you deny that blind spot with that little bitty convex mirror, you're doing something great for yourself. Absolutely fantastic. Deny them the initiative. So just let them know, you can scream, buck, kick, especially if you're in a crowded place. They will not continue if you're drawing a lot of attention to yourself. Natural Born Prepper, good evening, welcome. L-Dog, I think I said hello to you, I hope so. And who do we have else? Kane Corso, I missed saying hi to you. Good evening. So anyhow, so don't give them the initiative. You take the initiative. Okay. Don't give them the opportunity to come up on you. In another scenario, never get in a car with a potential attacker. Here's another one that I like. If you see a van approaching and you're walking, and you see a van approaching, and there are no windows on the sides, it's a cargo type van, and you're on the side where that side door is going to open, get as close in to the buildings and away from the street as possible from that open door. And the minute that vehicle stops, walk backwards. Go towards the back of that so that they have to come out and go backwards to get you. So, just watch out for those kinds of things. And most of us, if we're walking on the right side of the road and the traffic's coming up on the left side right behind us, we aren't going to see it. So one of the best things you can do is walk on the other side of the street. Walk where you're always facing approaching traffic. Okay. Defensive weapons, make sure you have them with you at all times. The best one that they cannot use against you is non-fatal, and that's going to be some sort of a pepper spray or CS spray or something like that. Any kind of a spray you can spray on their face. Make sure you do not spray it upwind, okay? You want to spray it downwind. You don't want to spray it at somebody and then have it blow back on you. You've just denied the effectiveness of it, and you've taken full blunt force yourself. So if you know that you're walking into the wind and the person's coming at you from the front, at least get to where the wind is perpendicular to the line between the two of you. Then and spray a little bit upwind so that the spray gets blown by the wind into their face. Do not spray pepper spray upwind. There are other things you can do. Small knives. You can carry your keys. When you have your keys, you can kind of put your key ring in your palm of your hand. I'm going to use pens to demonstrate, and then use your keys out like this, and they can become scrapers as you're scraping the face or anything like that, torso, something like that. So, those are some of the things you can carry with you at all times. I think I've told you, I think we talked about it last week. If you're going to carry a bat in your car, make sure you carry a baseball glove and a baseball as well. That way it looks like it's sporting goods equipment rather than just a defensive tool. I carry a tire thumper, which is an old military police baton. And, if they ask me what's that, I say a tire thumper. I don't say it's a police baton. Okay. So that's just some advice on that. What do you guys think? What are some of the things that you might carry as far as defense? Let me get my other glasses. I think they'll work better. Gel pepper spray will hold together better in the wind. Thank you for that, King Corso. Joshua says that your body will also attract it, but not as much as what you're spraying on the other person. ArmyNavyOutdoors.com. Thank you, Higgy Homestead. I knew it was something like that. And I don't know why I was stuck on indoor, outdoor. I got part of the name. Army Navy Outdoors. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Down at the very bottom, it's got free download manuals. And that's in the center of the screen down at the very bottom, top of a list of maybe 3 or 4, but you'll see it. Click on that. You can get all kinds of free stuff. And just buy one USB and fill it up with all their free stuff. It is just unbelievable. Carry 9mm with 48 rounds total and a 6-inch blade. That's great. Stun gun works great as well. Yes, a knife. Make sure you know how to get some training in how to use the knife effectively. Oh, wow. Shenanigans says that he has some friends who are retired cops, and they keep a taser at their front door and have it ready to go when someone when somebody knocks, that is. Metal fingernail file, sharpened. What a great idea, Patricia Butler. That's another form of a stabbing instrument. Pepper spray on my keychain. That's a great one. So you always have it with you. Thank you, Higgy Homestead. That's a great suggestion. Who's your... That's a good question, Shenanigans. I don't know if pepper spray goes bad. I would venture to say that if you leave it in your vehicle, like I do, I've got this one that I've kept in my pickup now for probably 3 or 4 years, that when you get the heat here in Texas, where it's up to 140 degrees inside your cab, when you turn off the air conditioner, that's going to cause that pepper spray to expand pressure-wise. Then when you get into the cold, it contracts. Then expansion, contraction. I would say that probably after 4 summers, 4 years, that pepper spray in my pickup is probably not going to have the effectiveness that a new one would have, or even one that's only 2 years old. But I would say that the temper variations are going to cause a lot of problems with whatever kind of a propellant you're using to get that pepper spray out. Okay, that's going to be, I would say that would be my main concern, is you're not going to have the pressure to get it as far as you would like after it's been in a vehicle for a while. What's number 134? What is the foundation of having a strong will to survive? Let me tell you, that's something that I am working on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, I just went to Goodwill and found a book today on how to take care for the dying. It's a nursing book. But, if people give up, there was a poem. I can't remember who wrote it. It might have been Theodore Roosevelt. But it says, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, but you're sure you won't, it's almost a cinch, or think you don't, it's almost a cinch you won't. So basically what he's saying with that is that if you have the right mindset, then you have a higher chance of living than a person who does not have the right mindset. If somebody's just given up, they aren't going to do anything proactive to stay alive. Now, there is a downside to this one as well. And I would say that the people who want to stay alive or want to keep their children alive are probably going to be some of the most hazardous people in an SHTF scenario. So somebody whose family is beginning to starve or is starving, who is threatened by the weather conditions, who feels that you have something they need to protect their family, that's going to be one of the greatest threats that there's going to be out there. So, make sure you're aware of that and prepared for that and how you're going to handle it. Because that is the negative side to having a will to survive. It can consume you. But your having a will to survive is an advantage, okay? Not a disadvantage. You don't want to be one of those people who gives up or goes about it haphazardly. Let's put it that way, okay? Number 135, how can I make my home more secure? I watched a video. As a matter of fact, Methane Creator sent it to me today, a video of a guy making caltrops and other things out of nails and old garden hose. Just really great. So he sends me stuff like that on a regular basis on great stuff around home defenses, things like that. Making that is one great home defense. If you can get longer screws to screw your door jambs into the frame, you're going to be a lot better off with longer screws. They use like 1-inch screws. If you can get those 2 3/4 or 2.5-inch screws, you get those. That's going to be fantastic. I have some door stops, okay? And if you put the door stop under so let's say the door opens this way, And so you're going to put the doorstop on the inside at the point where it opens up. Then if they do get past the lock and past the frame, it's going to stick on that doorstop. They're going to have to basically take the door down in order to get in. Watch for glass areas. If you can, plant some thorny bushes underneath any glass areas that you might have. That's also a good place for you to embed or hide something like some caltrops. I've been thinking about buying some concertina wire, but I've talked myself out of it. And the reason is, if you put concertina wire around your house, you're basically saying, I'm a target. I have something that I want to spend a lot of money defending. It becomes very obvious, and people are going to come try to get through the barbed wire to get what you have. The more clandestine your defenses are, the better you're going to be. And so, that I would strongly recommend that. Let me see. So make sure you have good locks on your doors. Beware of distraction scams. If someone comes to your door claiming to be a roofer, driveway cooler, or utility worker, always be wary. We have a Ring doorbell. So when somebody comes to our door, we talk to them through the Ring doorbell app. We also have a, what's that called? The little viewport in the door. He talks about it here. Just a minute. He's got it in here. I'm sure so. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody's going to write it in here in the chat. But you can see through the door to see who's there. So make sure you have one of those on your door as well. Now, Khalid Muhammad says that they have been a lot of stolen first responder uniforms, police, sheriff, and firefighter and EMS from the dry cleaners, amazingly. So there may be, when these attacks start happening, when these closely coordinated terrorist attacks, CCTA. I did a short of them. But when they happen, they're going to try to infiltrate and use those as well. So be wary of those. If you have somebody pulling you over, and all they are is flashing a badge, I would call 911 as I'm being pulled over and ask, hey guys, I'm being stopped by a car with no lights and he's flashing a badge. And I'm at this location. Is this a legitimate stop? And they will then put out an APB, and say, hey, is anybody stopping this car? And give them a description of your car. And if they get a positive response back, they'll say, yeah, that's a valid stop, pull over. If not, go to a well-lit public place, like I would say the parking lot of a gas station or a quick stop or something like that. And that's where I would stop. So you have a lot of witnesses. He says that surprisingly, most illegal home entries are through doors, your front doors, during daylight hours. Peephole, that's what I was trying to get to here a little bit earlier. If you have an attached garage, treat the door from the garage into the house just like an exterior door. That's why I have 2 of those door stops. Be sure that your address numbers are big and easy to read from the street so that first responders know the right house. If you have those people come by who paint the numbers on the curb, do it. Especially if you can have it done in black and white, so that that's also easily readable to first responders when they come. That would be fantastic. Watch out for bushes or shrubs in your area away from the house that provide cover and concealment for any kind of a potential attacker. I want to get into. I wish I could have one pair of glasses for all distances or the appropriate distances. Let me see. And so Love Son says you can't even trust anyone with lights because they can be picked up anywhere. That's true. Owning a dog is important, King Corso says. That was one of the comments that Methane Creator was also saying is make sure you have a dog. So who's your prepping nurse says, okay. Let me see. All right. So it's about breeds of dogs. My Chihuahuas are not going to provide any kind of good noise discipline. I can guarantee you that. I'm going to go ahead and try these. These supposedly have distance and then computer, which they do, and then reading, but the reading's way down at the bottom. They kind of made them poorly. Do not leave valuables of any kind in plain sight in the vehicle. I agree. Install motion-activated security lights. Amen. We had those at a house, let me see, 2 houses ago. And then we had a neighborhood watch as well. We took our Christmas tree out and had a stand, a disposable stand. They used the disposable stand to support the bumper, but they took the entire front end of my Chevy S10. The grill, the bumper, the hood, both quarter panels, or what do you call them? They basically took everything metal off the front end of my pickup and stole it. And the neighborhood watch watched them walk away with it. My security lights came on, but I did not have an alarm system to let me know that my security lights were on. So all I did was give them light to work on instead of a security system. I told my neighborhood watch captain who watched, he says, oh, is that what I saw them carrying away when I talked about it? I said, we need to change your name from neighborhood watch to neighborhood call the police, because you took the neighborhood watch too literally. Let me see. Never display so-called crime deterrent signs, as these will advertise that you have guns. So what they're talking about there is, the looters will be shot or anything like that. That just tell people you have guns, and that's something that they want. That's something they'll come to get. Do not post vacation plans on social media. So I know somebody who on social media complained that their college dormitory roommate was never locking the door. And she was really upset about it. And so she wanted a new roommate. Well, guess what? The next day after she posted that on social media, somebody came in and just took everything in her dorm room, her computer, everything. Why? Because she said that the door was unlocked. Let me see. Take your glasses back for a remake. If with a certain time period, it should be free. I've had very good experience. These are caught from Costco, so I've had very good experience with them. And he was kind enough. I have a habit of doing bad things to my glasses. So these have these hinges so that you can do bad things to your glasses, and they pop right back into shape. But I just need to get that lens where the bifocals goes up a little bit higher. Or the trifocal, I guess it is. Keep your garage door closed. Don't post vacation plans on the internet. Don't, and this is really critical right after Christmas. People will have like an 84-inch TV, and they'll leave that big box whole out in the street. Well, what does that do? Is as the thieves drive by, they say, that house has an 84-inch television. And so when you put the boxes for very big, expensive items that are still whole out on the street for garbage pickup, you're advertising of the products that you now have inside your house. Cut those up, destroy them, put them inside of your recycle pan or can. Don't just leave them out in your driveway. I've got El Chino driveway alerts off the Big A. Cheap. The first one is 18 months in the weather now and going so great. I quit carrying a purse and just keep an RFID in my pocket. Good idea. I think that a person shouldn't post anything of their life on social media. I agree with that. I agree with that, Love Son. I've seen people post that their homes and their gardens and items were ripped off. Yep. Mine are far from silent. When we were walking out with 145-pound, 110-pound Corsos, people will cross to the other side of the street. Yep, yep. I had a Rottweiler at one time. Best dog ever. Best dog ever. He just loved me too much. You can definitely get in trouble with social media, Eldon. Absolutely. Yeah, shenanigans. And here's a bad piece of news for you. The smaller the dog, the more they think they are in command of the neighborhood. The Rottweiler I told you about we had in Germany, took him for walks down on Trieflingerstrasse. And there was a dachshund in the backyard of one house. And that dachshund did not like us walking on the street. That dachshund let the Rottweiler know. The Rottweiler had no idea how big the dachshund was, but it would go to the other side. He normally walked on my right. When we got there and that dachshund started barking, he would move over to my left. Coward. Doggone coward. I tell you what. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Who's your prepping nurse? Oh, wow. Shenandoah George, good evening. Welcome. Good to see you. That's a new name as well. Hope you stay with us for a while. Okay. Try to avoid being too predictable in your habits. Coming and going at different times has its advantages. I will tell you what, that's very difficult. For example, on Tuesday mornings, I go to a prayer group. And it's in a different town, and it's with the flow of traffic going into downtown Austin. So there's about a 15-minute window. If I'm in that 15-minute window, if I leave here between 7 and 7:15, 6:55 and 7:10, I'm going to get there at 7:30. Okay? If I leave here at 7:15, I'm going to get there at 8:15. Just that's how heavy the traffic gets all of a sudden. And South Dakota, Shenandoah George, wow. I dated a girl, a captain from South Dakota. She died of a heart attack running a marathon in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Be sure that you have an intruder action plan for your family. Do you have a safe room? What are you going to do if somebody breaks in? Is there somewhere you can go? Are there defense tools pre-established or established so that you can take advantage of the situation? You know, here in our house, we have one room. We're going to go there. There is a loaded shotgun ready to go. It's only a 20 gauge. That way my wife doesn't have to worry about it knocking her down. But you know, we're ready to go. We got it planned. Oh, by the way, I didn't put it in my pantry haul, and I'm going to release that tomorrow. I did not do my pantry haul on Saturday because we had 75-mile-an-hour winds, and you could hear the howling and the screeching and everything else here in the house as those winds were going by. So I decided not to do it Saturday or Sunday. The wind subsided a lot today, although yesterday it was 95 degrees, today it was 45 degrees. So we had a 50-degree temperature drop in about 18 hours. And so anyhow, but I took Helen out and I bought her a new 9mm, and it's an EZ because she was in that car wreck, and in the car wreck, she broke this arm in 3 different places. And one of those places is right here at the elbow, and that bone, this bone right here, has not healed. It's been 7 years, and they've done a lot to it. The seat belt also severed her biceps, so 2/3 of her bicep is not connected, only 1/3 is. And they said that the pain and therapy and everything to reconnect the bicep is probably more than the value she'll get out of it, because it won't be 100%. She won't be able to use it 100%. So they just recommended leaving it as it is. Well, that's the arm you use to hold on to your automatic to rack it. So she was not able to rack her old 9mm. So Smith & Wesson came out with an EZ, which is a lot easier to rack. We went out, tried it. She liked it. So now I bought her a new Smith & Wesson on Saturday. And so that's, how we can do those defendable things too. And that's on her side of the bed now. Case your house like a criminal would. So look at your house with the same perspective that a criminal would look at your house. Little things like, are there bumper stickers that give away how many children you have, or the types of dog that you have, or anything like that? Do you have, fire stickers in a window saying baby in here? Then that's going to be a room that he's probably not going to break into, because there's probably a baby monitor there. There'd probably be another room without a baby monitor that he would prefer to break that window. So there's all kinds of things that you can look at. Are the windows easily accessible? Or do you have bushes, and thorny bushes, especially rose bushes or something like that, that are going to be difficult for them to get through in order to get into that glass? Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. Shenanigans says, never put your kids' names on their clothes or blankets. Yes. And the same thing, don't talk about your kids on social media. Don't share their pictures or anything else. Yeah, Tammy Harder, you're absolutely right. Oh, wow. The Oxford and Sumi are both got snow and freezing conditions. Unbelievable. So how can number 136, how can a survivalist prepare to survive a violent revolution? Racial and religious groups may resort to terrorist activities. We do see a lot of brown racial adversity, especially in Southern California. I think that's where it's predominant. I told you that I go to this one group on Tuesday mornings. I used to go to another group. He's an elderly Hispanic man, really nice guy. But there was another Hispanic guy there. He hated gringos. He really hated gringos with a passion. And he berated me for sitting at a Hispanic table. And so as a result of that, the other Hispanic guy told him he could leave, that he didn't want we needed to have more mixed and respect for each other than this guy was willing to give. And later on, I helped him out with something. He was surprised that I would do help him out to the extent that I did, even though he told me he hated gringos. So sometimes you just have to do what you can to help ease the tensions among and between the races. But Hispanics in Southern California, I didn't see it that much in Arizona. Now, I grew up in El Paso, and in El Paso, it's 75% Hispanic. So the gringos were in the minority. We were about 18% of the population, and blacks were 7% of the population. So in El Paso, the blacks and the whites banded together because the two of us were still the minority. The two of us combined were only 25% of the population. And Asians as well were in there. So the Asians, the blacks, and the Caucasians all kind of were the group and protecting ourselves from the Hispanics. Do I think there's going to be a Hispanic revolution in Texas? I haven't seen signs of it. There are individual cases. of people who are anti-gringo. I know that there are some gringos who are anti-Hispanic. I think those feelings exist, but not to the proportion they do in Southern California, especially LA. Black-white issues, I don't see them that much here in Central Texas. There was vestiges of one or two towns where it was very prominent. I think that's gone away in the last 20, 30 years. Gosh, maybe some of the bigger cities, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio. I would say that if there's any kind of tension, there's going to be any kind of a war, it would be in an urban setting. So, King Corso says, my wife is fond of a Browning 1911 Black Label 380. 1911 is what I qualified with, and so I loved it. Loved the 1911. Love Sunset is scary to me how many people are in my area that do not speak English and look at a person with hate. Lots of them working at Walmart. I think, and that's when we get into it, I think that's what he's referring to without saying it on the racial side. We've seen a lot of people, Islamic people, come into the country over the course, especially the last 4 years. But it has been, quite a migration, and not that much assimilation. L-Dog is absolutely correct. Tejas used to be part of Mexico. So that was Texas, half of New Mexico, and then the panhandle portion of Oklahoma, the western third of Kansas, the eastern third of Colorado, going up into the Dakotas. So that was all part of Tejas, which was a state in Mexico that won its independence not very long ago. March 3rd, 1836 is when we declared independence. It took a while to make that. March 6th, 1836, of course, was the Alamo, the Battle of the Alamo. So, yeah, and then when Texas joined its statehood, portions of the state were lopped off and turned into territories. Territories belonging to Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Colorado, and the Dakotas. Okay. Mass demonstrations may turn into more organized militaristic action. I'm reading a book about that right now. Where did I put it? It's right here. I'm reading it. It's called Crowds, written in 1890. You would think that it was written in 2026. It's the book that Adolf Hitler used to basically dupe the German people. What was his name? What was the Heinrich? Goebbels. Goebbels was the one who really read it and really understood it and used it to get mass euphoria among the German people for the Nazi party. But it's called Crowd. If I can find it, I went through all my books here just a little bit ago. Doggone. Oh, I know why it's not here. I showed it in my video that I just got it. That's why. Doggone it. And it's not that big a book. You can read it oh, here it is. You can read it very quickly. See, it's not that big. It's called The Crowd. And so this is the study of the popular mind. So this book will tell you why we're having the riots in Minnesota, in Los Angeles, and all these other things, racial, religious riots and gatherings and everything else that are sometimes sparked by something that's not true. I like watching these ones where the guy on the street takes a microphone up to somebody and says, why are you rioting? And they don't know. Or they'll say, because so-and-so is such and such. And they'll say, well, can you define such and such? And they, no. Well, then why are you saying he is if you don't know what it means? Or, there's a No King's March coming up. They're saying that there's totalitarianism. They'll say, can you tell me one right that you've lost or one one thing that he's done that is totalitarian. Well, no, but you can look it up, And so those kinds of people, they are puppets. They're following in the crowd. And all you have to do is give them something to yell at, something to believe, something to get their emotions going, and they're going to follow you. Those are the same people that were led by the totalitarian regimes in Germany, Italy, and elsewhere that led to wars. Now, that's going to be what happens here is unknowing people who are willing to follow a cause, but they just don't know what the cause is. Okay? Beware of them. Beware of stupidity. There could be states and or cities that elect to assert levels of independence. We've already seen that. Of course, Minnesota and California, Illinois declaring themselves sanctuary states, which is an abrogation of the supremacy clause of the Constitution. And then you got, what do you call them? I just said it, sanctuary cities, the same thing. It's a violation of the supremacy clause of the Constitution. So what happens? Those are the places most likely to probably declare independence from the United States. And, I would say that would be more of the revolutionary type. If it happens, let them go. Let them go. They can't survive on their own. They're totally dependent upon the rest of us paying in our taxes so that our tax dollars can support them and their lack of budgeting capabilities. So let them go. Where are they going to get their money from? We don't have to worry. Don't fight them. Just let them go. Advocates of centralization, socialization, etc., versus the free economy people. The government itself could become so oppressive and intrusive that parts of the overpopulation becomes to resist and revolt. We almost saw that happen right after 9/11 in 2001. The Patriot Act, we saw a lot of militias forming up in opposition to some of what was considered to be intrusions into people's privacy as a result of the Patriot Act. It's been renewed. I don't think that's going to go away, okay? Finally, what can a survivalist do to protect children? Number one, probably the greatest threat to your child is going to be a home accident and home emergencies. Make sure you have locks, trigger locks on your guns or have them locked up or whatever. Make sure you train your children about guns. Home fires, what to do in case of a home fire, when to put it out, how to put it out, when to call 911, all those different types of things. Make sure you have them trained. Have a plan, walk through your plan, practice your plan, what you're going to do for home intrusions or people who burst into your home. Other hazards that are dangerous to children, stairs and playing around stairs. I'll tell you a strange one that happened to me. It was a birthday party, and I had to be in the 4th grade, about 9 years old. And one of the common things in El Paso is the back door is usually a sliding glass door. And so we were playing tag, and they had an open door on one side of the house and then the sliding glass door on the other side of the house. And I was chasing this guy, Edmund. I was chasing him from the backyard. We went into this den, through the kitchen and dining room and into the living room, and then through the sliding glass door. Well, as he was running out back, I was getting fairly close, and he slid the sliding glass door closed, and I ran right through the sliding glass door. Make sure you teach your children, safety about sliding glass doors and being around glass and things that can break and everything else. I was not cut that seriously, so it could have been a lot worse. But man, oh man, I tell you what, that was scary, scary, scary. Stairways. Keep your kids away from stairways. Have child gates. Sometimes you may need to have child-proof doorknobs just to keep them out of things. Our crystal in our china in this hutch that we got in Germany, I had to install child-proof openings. Of course, Allison figured that out by the time she was 4, but we tried to keep all of our expensive china and crystal in here so that she did not have an opportunity to play with it and anything else. Okay. Teach them how to call 911. Make sure they know their address. Make sure they know your phone number. So those are some very important things to teach your children. Beware of dangers on the street. Always walk in pairs. Always walk with an adult they know. Have a code word so that if somebody picks them up at school on your behalf, tell them that they have to ask that person what is the word, or they have to say something, kind of like a challenge and reply, that the other person then has to give the proper code word in order for that child to know that they are the person who is sent to pick them up. So, we could say something like December Christmas, all right? So if somebody the child doesn't know comes and says, your mom asked me to pick you up, then the child just looks at them and says December. And the person has to come back and say Christmas. If that's the correct terms, then the child knows that it is safe to go with that person. Otherwise, they don't go with that person. There has to, or they call their parents and say, hey, this person's trying to pick me up. Is it okay? Make some plans, take precautions. Don't let just anybody pick up your child. Recognition of child abuse, bullying, cyberbullying. I can't tell you the number of teenage and pre-teenage suicides because of cyberbullying. They've never seen the person. The person means nothing to them, that there's no influence on their life. And yet teens are taking it seriously and unaliving themselves because of cyberbullying. Be aware of it and watch over your children, protect them from it. In an SHTF situation, that probably isn't going to happen, but that's something to be aware of pre-SHTF. Preventing child abduction, recognition and prevention of bullying. In Dale Carnegie's book, How to Make Friends and Influence People, that's the name of it, How to Make Friends and Influence People. If I'm not mistaken, in the third chapter, when he's talking about point number 3 in how to be successful, he uses the example of a kid that's riding a tricycle, I believe, if I remember the story right. He's riding a tricycle, and there's a bully down the street that knocks the kid off the tricycle and rides the tricycle until he's tired of it. And then just leaves the tricycle out in the street, and the kid has to go retrieve it and come home. And he doesn't want to ride the tricycle that much anymore because every time he rides it, he gets bullied. So the dad says, and the kid won't eat his spinach or something the kid won't eat. And the dad says, you know what? If you eat this spinach, you'll grow up and be big and you'll be able to beat up that bully. So now you provide an incentive, and the kid is going to eat his spinach. And so the kid did eat his spinach, and his dad taught him some martial arts, and sure enough, later on he was able to beat the bully up. But so be aware of bullying and the repercussions of it. Notice some of the signs of it and how you can be aware of that as a parent. Potential parental awareness and responsibility. Sexual abuse. Be aware of that. It happens, and it's up to around 20%, I believe, of all adults today were sexually harassed or bullied in their youth. And so it's just unbelievable. Recognize it, and let's get rid of it. Let's get those crazy people where they belong, locked behind some doors. Preventing accidental injuries and deaths, absolutely. Look both ways before crossing the street, things like that. Hazards at school. Teach them about active shooter, what they're supposed to do. Teach them about alcohol and drug abuse. I mean, one of the things that scared me the most when I went through driver's ed, they had the 3 films we had to watch: Signal 30, Death on the Highway, and I forget what the other one was. But we had to watch a half hour of them pulling bodies out of cars from car wrecks because people didn't follow the law and or were driving while drinking or whatever. And these were extremely gory films, and it put the fear of God in you. Let me tell you. So that was one of those ways of preventing a person from being too abusive in an automobile. Didn't have a long-term effect like we wish it had. I think a lot of people kind of the effect wore off probably about a month later. But I mean, are there things like that we can do psychologically to keep our kids away from drugs and alcohol, at least the abuse of them? How to survive a disaster. Get them into prepping with you. Make it a part of a game. Make it fun. Make it educational. Teach them first aid. Teach them things like that. Tell them what to do if they get lost or separated. There is now a beeper, a transponder basically, that you can put into their jacket, into their clothing, whatever. You can just snap on, turn it on. That way, the app shows on your cell phone, and you can see where they are on a map all the time. So if somebody picks them up, you pretty much follow that tracker, that beeper. Teach them what to do in case of storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, snowstorms, like we're having in the Northeast right now, all those different kinds of things. Survival kits, make sure that they have one that's just for them. Teach them about sharps and knives, and tell them, about the police, that the police are there to protect them. They are there as their advocate, in a sense. How to respect the police, some simple things you can do around the police. For example, if you get stopped while driving, just be respectful of the officer. Have both hands in plain sight. I was taught to have your hands on the steering wheel at 10 and 2. Texas just had the U.S. just had a Supreme Court decision on carrying a firearm in your car. Strongly recommend you read it, get up to date on it. I would put my hands on the steering wheel, and at the 10 and 2, I would already have my owner's registration, my insurance on the dashboard where he can see them. I have my hands on, turn on the inside dome light, roll the window down, and the first thing he comes up, you say, "Officer, I am armed. I have a weapon at my 4 o'clock position on my waist. I'm keeping my hands up here. If you want, I will give you the weapon during our discussion." And so if he probably will say, "I don't want you to reach for it," okay? In which case, now you've told them where it is, right? And your hands stay up here, and the registration, license, everything else is on your dashboard. Then there's no reason for your hand to go back for your wallet or anything else in the area of where that weapon is. And they teach 3 and 9, so this way we were taught 10 and 2. But thank you, Utah Mike. So, just keep your hands in sight. If there's a weapon, let them know that there is a weapon, where it is, and that your hands are as far away from it as possible. Make everything so that you reduce the amount of fear that the officer has. Because most of the officer shootings happen either during a domestic dispute or during a traffic stop. Those are the 2 most dangerous times for a police officer. Okay, so we made it through the area we wanted to go through. Any final thoughts or comments? My son and Joe has my granddaughter on the prepper bandwagon. Oh, that's fantastic, love son. Yeah, and one of the things I told my daughter is don't do anything that you can't undo. And unfortunately, sometimes words can't be undone. But just as a rule of thumb, don't do anything you can't undo. All right, so that's it. We are done for the evening. We don't have a conflicted this Saturday. It's not this Saturday, it's the 2nd and 4th. However, we're coming up, the last Thursday of the month is going to be the preparation and by Glenn Tate. So that's this book. I hope you read it. 299 Days to Preparation by Glenn Tate, post-apocalyptic novel. So make sure you're prepared for that. We'll do that the last Thursday of the month. Okay, the book of Numbers, chapter 6, verses 24, 25, 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord let his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord look upon you kindly and grant you peace. So thanks everybody for being here. Greatly appreciate it. I hope that this is giving you some good ideas on some things that you can do to make your life a little bit easier should anything happen. Don't forget to like and share. And if you come back and leave a comment on the live afterwards, that helps us an awful lot too. Thanks for being here, everybody. Please stay safe. Love you. Bye-bye.